Keep it real simple, keep it real simple. Bring everything right back to ground zero. Cause it all comes down to this: love God and love people. We're living in a world that keeps breaking, but if we wanna find a way to change it, it all comes down to this: love God and love people.
What's up, Simple Church? For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jonah, and I've been the high school pastor here for around 7 years. If you're wondering how long 7 years is, that's long enough for us to see children's ministry children go into high school and graduate. It's also long enough to see high schoolers that were here when we got here get married after graduating college, some of them, sometimes before, having kids, and we're looking at them and realizing a lot of those students are older than I was when I became the high school pastor here. And it's crazy the amount of growth that we've gotten to see in our high school ministry, in our high school students' lives, and now college students, and now just adults. I've been blessed to be here for that long. First off, I wanted to say happy Thanksgiving. When Justin gave me the chance to speak, he asked me under one caveat. He said, you should probably speak about gratitude. Our whole series is about gratitude, so it makes sense. This is the week when all of us are supposed to just pause from whether it be work or just life and spend time just focusing on what we're grateful for. Easy. I thought it would be easy. Just all I need to do is just walk in and go, hey, be thankful. Thank you. Peace. Bye. And walk out. That's what I thought I was going to do. That's that easy, right? This whole sermon series has been about, hey, guys, gratitude is good. You should have it, and so do it. Usually when I write sermons for high school students, I have around a week to prepare because we have service to service to service. And so for that week, I might have it kind of fleshed out, but I spend that week just focusing on what we want to speak to. For students, I've never had 2 months to talk about one thing before. And so it started for me just giving me the chance to focus on gratitude and thinking about my life, thinking about my level of gratitude, how thankful I am. And what is it that keeps me from being grateful? I realize that there are certain realities in my life that make gratitude difficult. And there are certain reminders to help me be grateful. And I bet they're not just true for me. I think they're universally true for all of us, that we all have something to learn about gratitude. The first reality I had to face is that gratitude isn't natural. This is especially true when you're young. Think about it, we're born, and then most of us cry within seconds. And some of us, we don't stop for years. If you're a parent, you know this is true. Look at my family. This is my wife, Laura, and then we have 2 daughters. One is Becca, and Becca just turned 4 yesterday, and Eden will be 2 in January. They have still not stopped crying. A while back, I decided that I was going to be a great father. A couple of years ago, Halloween is coming up, and I was running out to the store, to Home Depot, to grab something to fix our house. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something special. So I took the time out of my day. Instead of just going and fixing whatever we needed to fix, I went and took a detour and drove to this boardwalk, and I went to the Spirit Halloween store back when it was in the old Gap and now the Pickler. And I went and found a princess costume for Becca. Becca likes princesses. She's going to love it. It's a princess costume. You ask, which one? You're it's Spirit of Halloween. I think it's supposed to be Rapunzel, but they can't say that because of copyright issues. So I got her this costume, and I'm excited. I start thinking, man, I am going to be the best father ever. I start driving back. I call Laura because I'm excited. It's only 15 minutes away, and I'm hey, you are going to love this. Get Becca ready. I have a surprise. Or as she calls them, prizes. I have a prize for her. And so I get home, and I pull it out, and you should have seen her face. Her face lit up. She loved it. We got it out of the packaging. We put it on her, and she hated it. It's okay. She'll hate me in high school, but I've got a while. So she hated it. Within seconds, there was a moment where she put it on, and she looked down, she was and then it's bad whenever they take a second to bubble up, and then she just let it all out, and she just screamed. We could not get the costume off her fast enough. We tried it on one more time, same reaction. I think it's the costume because years later we tried it on Eden and literally same face, same everything. I found that photo and could not tell if it was the Becca photo or the Eden photo because everything was the same. I was so ready to post a picture of her and be like, Father of the Year right here. Like, look at this costume. You're gonna love this, guys. Like, just saying, I know, some of you are great dads, but I got her a princess costume, and she looks cute, and she loves it. But instead, she didn't respond like that. It's crazy. I was patting myself on the back. And now we have two. Now we have two kids. Children of the proof that gratitude is not natural. I don't think, like, most of you, if you're parents, you know this. You make a meal. And it is a fantastic meal with all the different food groups. Like, it's all color coordinated. Everything is separated perfectly. We even in our family a lot of times just give them desserts straight out right. If they want to eat them first, that's fine too. Just eat all of your food too. Like, we're just great. They eat 2 bites and they look and they go, I'm done. And you're like, you're going to be hungry later. They're like, no, I'm not. And you're like, yes, you are. And somehow they win the argument. Eden, she's still in a high chair. She's strapped in, and she's done eating, and like, so she's done eating. Hear me. She's done eating, and she'll respond by like being like, done, and all done, and we'll grab her food, and she'll go, snack. Like, immediately, she needs a snack, and we're like, here's your food back. She's like, I don't want food. They're like, are you hungry? She's like, no, I want a snack. And like, she wants something else. Children are proof that not crying is natural. Gratitude isn't natural. Crying definitely is. I don't think I've ever been on the phone with Laura without hearing screaming in the background. If you need more proof, and if you're a parent, I know you don't, you want to see where you see more toddlers having meltdowns than anywhere else in the world? You know, I kept hearing people say Walmart. That's the third time in a row I've heard Walmart, and that's also true. But Disney World, the most magical place on earth, a place where children can see their heroes. And they think they're real. And see their heroes, not to mention the fact that you had to probably sell a kidney to go, and they're there, and all these children are just going through fits. They're having meltdowns everywhere. Children are the proof that gratitude isn't natural. Sometimes I just want to yell. Don't you know how blessed you are? Don't you know how good you have it? When I was a kid, I had to go to school up a hill both ways. Not really, our life was great, but like all of a sudden, we're like, don't you know how good, you just have it so good. The question isn't even like, we don't have your snack of choosing. Like, we have everything else in the world. You have it so good. The day Justin asked me to speak was a Thursday. As they usually are, the next day is a Friday. And in our staff, we get Fridays off. I used to love Fridays. On Fridays, I got to sleep in. Laura would go to work, and I might wake up before she left, but sometimes I would wake up and be like, what time is it? 11? Awesome. That's awesome. That's great. Then we had kids. And our kids aren't old enough to be in elementary school yet. And their school, their daycare, is closed on Fridays. And so I get the entire day, 8 hours, just to spend time with longer than 8 hours to spend time with our kids. While Laura's at work, I am there to play with them. I used to tell Laura every single week, I'd be like, I hate Fridays. I used to love Fridays. I'm grumpy. And sometimes I would lie to her and I'd be like, hey, Sean called. He said that you're off today. Congratulations. She's like, oh yeah, he didn't call me? I'm like, I don't know, he called me. You're staying home? Cool. And she's like, yeah, and then she'd leave. And I try it every week, and she figured it out immediately. But I still try. It was my day off and became like the hardest day of my week. That day was no different. We're going from game to game, snack to snack, and fight to fight. Some of them all at the same time. As we're playing a game, they're holding a snack and screaming. And I was just grumpy as usual. And then I looked, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, God hit me with the same question. As I just heard him ask me, don't you know how blessed you are? Don't you know how blessed you are? Don't you know how good you have it? I get an extra day with my kids. In our student ministry, being a high school pastor, there's a lot of nights where I'm out with different life groups or different student events or maybe going to the hospital to visit people. There's a lot of times where I wake up in the morning, I get them ready for school, I take them to school, and then I see them the next morning. They're in bed by the time I get home. And I get one uninterrupted day with my kids. Why would I waste that? The reality is that gratitude isn't natural. We are born ungrateful. And some of us, we stay that way for way too long. But we don't have to. We need to remember that gratitude takes practice. If gratitude is not natural, and some people have it, then it has to come from somewhere, and that's from time and time again practicing. There's a reason why some of the most grateful people that you will ever meet are a lot older, because they've been through life, they've seen life, and that has shown for them that they have so much to be grateful for. Not that they have more to be grateful for than us, it's just that they've learned to see it. Ephesians 5:19-20 says this: "Speaking to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, sing and make music from your heart to the Lord, always giving thanks to God the Father for everything, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ." Sometimes that doesn't sound like my reality. That sounds like a Disney movie. There's very few times I ever enter a room just singing songs to everyone around me. Justin sang last week for y'all at the end of the service. I will not be doing so because you don't want to hear it. I'm not going to punish you. That's a horrible introduction to who I am. That's not my reality. But it can become our reality with practice. In college, Laura and I worked at a Christian camp called Pine Cove. Some of y'all know about it in Tyler, Texas. Laura worked at a family camp. I worked at a kids camp, 2nd through 5th graders. So I learned how parenting way early with 8 kids. And we had this thing that we had to do, and it's reframing. We could not say the words have to. I have to do this. We had to say get to. It became a joke for us. Like we were like, man, I get to lift this cargo container full of children's clothes for a month, even though we were only there for a week, and I get to run it all the way to their cabin for them instead of taking it like on a tractor or something. Like I get to, and we have to do it with a smile on our face. We get to. We need to keep practicing. We need to practice gratitude, reframing our minds to realize that, hey, we are so blessed. Because if we stop, we're going to go back to grumbling. Here's our second reality. Gratitude naturally becomes grumbling. Gratitude is easy when things are new. You get married, and you have an awesome honeymoon. And then you move in together, and you start making a house. And you start realizing that your habits sometimes, they don't line up. The shows you want to watch sometimes, they don't line up. Things you want to do, the beliefs that you have, some of them are in disagreement. And it becomes very easy to find things to complain about. The day you have a child is one of the best days of your life, followed by one of the worst nights of your life. One of being that you have a lot of them in a row after that, and it's hard. You get a job and you're like, man, I am so blessed to get this job. You saw everything, you're happy with it, but then work starts happening and you might have a boss that's hard to work for. Or maybe the tasks are just horrible and hard, the shifts are long, and you're just so tired of it. You're not thankful anymore. You buy a house, and then things start breaking. And all of a sudden, that gratitude's just going out the door, if the door's working. Gratitude naturally becomes grumbling. If you want to see how crazy I am, sometimes I complain about my job. I'm the high school pastor. That's my only job. High schoolers ask me that all the time. They're like, so what do you do for work? And I'm like, I'm the high school pastor. They're like, no, like for a job. You're like, I'm a high school pastor. But let me show you what I get to do for my job. Here's some pictures from this year. On top, you see us at Glorieta Christian Camp in Glorieta, New Mexico. That is New Mexico in the mountains in July, where it's 70 degrees outside. At Glorieta, we got to go zip lining. We got to go rappelling down sides of buildings. They have a giant lake with all these like inflatables and awesome stuff to do. They have archery, tag, paintball. They have everything you could imagine. Sometimes I complain about my job. On the bottom left, you see us playing paintball at Off Limits a couple of weeks ago. And if you're wondering, yeah, I'm still sore. Students like to shoot you. But it was still awesome. Bottom right, we have one of my favorite trips every single year is our senior mystery trip, as we get to celebrate our seniors and go random places that they've never been before. They don't even know where they're going until we get there. And that's us in Whitesburg, Georgia, going ziplining at 85 miles an hour from like a mile and a half up, it feels like, for the stairs, and like going and like doing that for like hours at a time and having some of these awesome experiences. There's so many things I can't even show you because there's not enough time for us to show all the pictures. My job is awesome. And yet sometimes I can complain about it. Gratitude becomes grumbling so easily. I know you're thinking, man, you have it rough. But honestly, each of these are genuinely hard at times. Though, just to be honest, to clarify, marriage is harder for Laura than it is for me a lot of time. In parenting, she does a lot of the work whenever I'm gone, and so not going to be hated by that. So she does way more work than I do. But everything is hard at times, whether it be work or different problems that are going on. There are good days and there are bad days. But we need to remember that blessings and burdens are a packaged deal. Some of the greatest burdens in my life came with the greatest blessings. If I were to say, hey, you want to see a picture of the greatest burdens in my life? You've already seen it. I would show you my family. Do you want to see a picture of the greatest blessings in my life? You've already seen it. It's my family. I wouldn't be trading it for anything. If you walk to me and you go, man, got the answer. You don't have to deal with your family anymore. We'll take the burden from you. I would fight you. Like, you're not taking my family from me. You're not taking that burden from me because it comes with the greatest blessing. Sometimes it can be hard to see the blessing and the burden. Romans 5, 3 through 4 says this. We also glory in our suffering because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Sometimes it can be hard to see the blessing. In a time of darkness, it can be hard to see the light. It's like working out. I don't do a lot of working out, as our students would tell you. But from the people that do, the day after they work out, they talk about, like, man, I'm just so sore. And they're happy. They're like, it burns, yeah. And like, there's no such thing as a good burn. No one's like, man, that muscle that I tore, oh, feels great. Like, no, it doesn't. But the thing that makes it a good burn is the knowledge that that burn is showing that they're building more muscle. For us in a time of suffering, we understand that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. That hurt is used in our lives to make us who we are. If you take away the hurt out of our lives, we would not be half the people we are today. That pain made us into something better. I hope you understand that. That last stage is hope. Hope that God is working for our good. In the middle of losing a job, in the middle of losing a loved one, you can look at it and say, you know what? I don't see any hope. I don't see the light. You need the reminder from Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. I'm not saying that we need to ignore our burdens. What I'm saying is that we need to stop ignoring our blessings. Some of the time, you can't see that light. But God has an awesome habit of taking what Satan means for pain and evil in our lives, repackaging it, and making it into something good. That pain is used in the process. That can be difficult because of our third reality. It's easier to focus on your burdens than your blessings. Burdens take more work. They take more energy. They cost more money. They look bigger, and they're louder. We have a tendency to give all of our attention to our burdens. If I'm hit by a truck, someone leans over me and goes, at least you have a great family. I don't care how far gone I am, the last second of my life will be to hit them. In the midst of your burden, it can be really hard to think like, man, I have so many blessings. But we do. One of my most hated songs and the most disagreeable songs ever at times, I appreciate it, but it's difficult. It's a song by Trace Adkins. Check it out.
You're gonna want this back. You're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times, so take a good look around. You may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this.
Sometimes life makes you question, am I really gonna miss this? As I'm driving down the road and I have two different toddlers in the back seat screaming disconsolately as they never harmonize, it's always just grinding. Am I really gonna miss this? And I know the answer is, yeah, I am. There's two interpretations of you're going to miss this. One, you're going to wish you could go back. You're going to look at those things, you're not going to remember the burdens, you're going to remember the blessings, and you're going to wish you could go back to those days sometimes. The second is that if you're not careful, you're going to miss out on the blessings right in front of you. If I look at all the burdens in front of me right now and be like, man, I wish I could go back. Yeah, it's true, and I wish I could go back to that time with our kids. I wish I could go back to when I just got that job or when I had that job before I quit. I wish I could go back. But if I spend my time wasted thinking about that, then I'm going to miss the opportunities right in front of me where I'm at. Psalms 103:2 says this, praise the Lord, my soul, and forget not all his benefits. We have a great memory for grudges. We have such a short memory for blessings. Last week, we watched the video for the Thanksgiving chair, and if you didn't watch it, I recommend you go back and check that out. There's this idea that throughout your life that you need to take time just to sit down in the Thanksgiving chair, putting on this lens for yourself of seeing all the things that you have, all the blessings you have accumulated. Taking the time in the midst of all the burdens and saying, hey, I need to be thankful. I have so much to be thankful for. We need to remember that days are long, but years are short. Becca is 4 now. Eden is almost 2, and it is crazy because I swear they were born yesterday. Becca kind of was. Yesterday was her birthday, and so we had a horse-themed birthday party here at the boardwalk, and it was absolutely awesome. But this week, we have a lot going on. This week, we had regular work stuff right before Thanksgiving. I have this party I'm preparing for. I'm preparing for this today. Every single day, I tried to find a little bit of time to come in here and just pray for a little bit. In the midst of all of that, and not to mention we had the party of the century going on and to prepare for. And it was so easy for me to get lost in everything else, but I'm realizing over and over again, I'm like, man, I'm talking about gratitude this week. I'm talking about gratitude this week. Focus on it and make it a part of your life, or you're going to feel like you're double-faced on Sunday. As we're setting up for a party for her, and we're setting up everything else, and Becca goes and says, hey, you want to go play? I can't just be like, no, I'm setting up for your party so you have fun. I could have fun right now. It's her birthday. We can celebrate her. Today won't happen again. God has unique opportunities in front of us. Opportunities for our families, opportunities for our marriages, opportunities for our jobs, opportunities for our friendships. Don't miss them, because you can't go back. No matter how much you do miss it, you cannot go back and experience those things again. Instead, what you can do is make sure that you make the most out of today. There's one last reality, is that blessings are meant to be counted. On student trips, one of the first things we do is count all the students on the bus. Before we ever leave, we count the students on the bus. We give the driver a number, we have a number, and we check our numbers to make sure. Because we'll go to like Buc-ee's, and after Buc-ee's, I'll do a count. And then if there's 3 less than we had the first time, I know we probably need to wait. If we didn't do the count, we wouldn't notice. We count for 2 reasons. 1, to see how many we have, but 2, to make sure that none slip away. Some of our students would probably love to spend the day at Buc-ee's instead of Six Flags, but we're not going to allow that. Our blessings are the same way. We need to count our blessings, because if we're not careful, we're going to miss some. Some of them might slip away without us even noticing. Psalm 45 says this, many, Lord my God, are the wonders you have done, the things you have planned for us. None can compare with you. Were I to speak and tell of your deeds, they would be too many to declare. I love the way that's worded. Were I to speak and tell of the things that you've done. Were I? We should. Like, we should be talking about those things, not to be cocky, to be like, look how much better I am than you, or all the blessings that I have that you don't. But instead just saying, man, look at what God has done in my life. I am so blessed. I have an amazing family. We have great friends, and I have an awesome job. One of my greatest blessings? You. Thank you, Simple Church. Because of your giving, I get to take care of my family. Because of you, I get to lead our high school students, and I don't have to do it alone. We have some amazing high school leaders that aren't in this room right now because they're in a high school service pouring into our students. They don't get paid for it. They're just volunteering. We have some awesome student ministry leaders. We have awesome volunteers everywhere. We have some awesome students. Those students are growing like crazy. We get to see them grow to know God and to flourish. And what's crazy is they encourage me too. Today, one of our past students right now is leading in our high school service. I saw him in freshman year, and I watched as he grew up, and now he's a college student, and he asked me for the chance to lead. And I was like, heck yeah, like awesome, do it. Like, I want you to thrive like that. I want them to hear from you. I want them to see a success. I want them to hear what God is sharing in your life too. Because of you, my children love church. And it's not just the donuts, though that's a huge part of why they love church. If those went away, there would be tears, as usual. But it's also the greeters that high-five them as they're walking in and smile at them. It's the cafe workers that'll bend over and give them a juice and give them a donut as they then devour it. It's the children's volunteers as they go to class and they learn about God, they play with them, and those children's volunteers know their name immediately when they walk through the door. Because of you, my children love church and they love God. We are so blessed. You are my constant reminder that this isn't my job. This is my church family. Y'all are my constant reminder of our last example and reminder that blessings overflow for a reason. 2 Corinthians 9:8 says this, God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. Did you catch that? So that. We are blessed abundantly, so that we will abound in every good work. Blessings aren't meant to be hoarded. There's the Bible passage that's just talking about, like, don't build bigger barns for yourself to hoard all your grain. Instead, what we're called to do is let our blessings overflow. To give out our excess, to give out of our excess, and to give even if we don't have an excess. Because honestly, most of the time when we say we don't have excesses, we need to realize that we do, we're just not seeing it. I am blessed to be at a church that isn't greedy with its blessings. We are devoted to loving people. Just look at this holiday season. For Christmas, our theme is 24 days of Christmas good. That's 24 unique opportunities to do something small to love others. 24 opportunities to let our blessings overflow. In our family, I know full well that what we're going to do is we're going to do our very best to do every single one of them. I know some of us will be like, I gave someone $1 sometime, or I brought a can of soup one day. But my goal is to do that, not just because I'm like, man, I'm going to do it because I'm a good Christian, but because I want to teach our children how blessed we are and that they have the opportunity to bless others too. If that wasn't enough, in a couple of weeks, we're going to have the largest food packing event we have ever done. For the community meal pack, we're going to end up having 145,000 meals. That is 50,000 meals more than ever before in the history of the Simple Church. We get to help others out of our abundance. Some of you are personally already doing more. There are people in our church providing meals for families in need, providing bikes for children, and providing cars for families without them. And I'm sure I'm missing other examples, but we don't have time to list them all. We are blessed to be a part of a church who loves to bless others. In a sec, as the band comes up while I pray, will you just bow your heads with me? God, I want to say thank you, God, for everything you do. God, thank you for all the ways that you've blessed us, God, that all the blessings we have are too many to count. God, help us to take the time to sit down and just look and see how good you are. And God, help us to understand that we've been blessed for a reason, that we can let our blessings overflow. God, we love you and we praise you. In your son's name.